Wildlife sanctuaries, the last of our green spaces. They protect our wildlife, our home to majestic ecosystems, and preserve culture and history. Bhagwan Mahavir Sanctuary is located in the area of the Western Ghats that falls under the Sangir Taluka in Goa. It spans 107 square kilometers and is home to 722 species of flowering plants, 235 species of bird, 219 species of butterfly, 80 species of ordinate, 75 species of ant, 45 species of reptile, 27 species of amphibian, 44 species of fish, and many more organisms, forming an extremely diverse and beautiful ecosystem. The Western Ghats are a UNESCO World Heritage Site with the presence of Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 endangered species such as tigers, mouse deer, and the Indian pangolin. On the 20th of April, during the 57th meeting of the Standing Committee of the National Board of Wildlife, a decision was taken to approve of 3 projects that threaten these beautiful wild spaces. The Goa Tamnar Transmission Project Limited. The project requests clearance for 35 years. It will span 75.122 hectares, out of which 48.3 hectares of forest land is required, 11.54 hectares of which lies within the protected area. The Castle Rock Cooley Railway doubling. The total project area is 120.875 hectares, out of which all of it lies on forest land. 113.857 hectares of which lies within the protected area. The 4-laning of existing Goa-Karnataka border Mole section of NH4A from 84.133 kilometers to 97 kilometers. The project requests clearance for 100 years. It will span 33.972 hectares, out of which 32.972 hectares of forest land is required, 31.015 hectares of which lies within the protected area. We stand to lose 55,000 trees and 202.147 hectares of forested land, 156.412 hectares of which lies within the protected area. Projects like these cause forest fragmentation, which leads to a multitude of problems, such as increase in zootonic pathogens, decline in population of many animals, water pollution, and roadkill. These irreplaceable forests have been around for thousands of years. If we let our forests be destroyed, how long till all we have left are concrete jungles? And now, to hear from some people at the forefront of this fight.
Hi, my name is Gabriella. I'm a conservation biologist based in Goa. This is just a brief about the 3 projects happening at Mole. There's essentially the expansion of a highway, there's the expansion of a railway, as well as a 400 kV transmission line that's going to go through the forest in 3 different areas. This is a concern for obvious reasons, primarily because there are several endangered species present within this protected area. The Western Ghats is an incredibly biodiverse area. It's over 150 million years old. That's older than the Himalayas. And this particular area is also a biodiversity hotspot, which is an incredibly rare label to have. The 3 projects will fragment the protected area network of Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary and Mole National Park. And it is a concern for people living in Goa as well as those who travel to Goa on holiday, because the fragmentation of these protected areas will not only have long-term impacts on the tourism around the area and the wildlife within the sanctuary, but also on Goa's water reserves, because most of our rivers are sourced from these protected areas, as well as in terms of our air quality, because actually destroying large parts of forest has a huge impact on air quality of a particular area. So I would urge people to read more about what's happening at Mole and raise questions as to whether we actually really need these projects and who these projects actually benefit.
Hi, I'm Omkar. I'm a wildlife photographer and naturalist based in Goa, and I've been documenting the wildlife in Bhagwan Mahavir Wildlife Sanctuary for the last 10 years. This definitely is one of the most biodiverse regions in Goa. There have been three projects, namely laying of a new power transmission line, widening of the highway, and double tracking of the railway track from Castle Rock to Pune, passing through the sanctuary. These projects involve clearing of large tracts of forest land and will definitely fragment the forest and the habitat here. This would displace the species and causing species to move closer to human settlements, which would increase the man-animal conflicts here. Several species like the great hornbill, which require large trees for their nesting, would lose nesting spaces. There are animals which require canopy for their navigation through the forest. These species would be disconnected from the forest altogether. So we request the Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change and the National Board of Wildlife to kindly reconsider these approvals given to these projects.
आता 7 एप्रिलाचेर लॉकडावन मदीं 57th नॅशनल बोर्ड फॉर वायल्ड लायफ 31 प्रोजेक्ट क्लियर केले. व्हिडिओ कॉन्फरन्सिंगान आतां मॅप्स तपासूंक जायनासले एक्सपर्ट्स अशें आमकां फीडबॅक दिले. आतां ही प्रस्ताव भगवान महावीर वायल्ड लायफ सँक्च्युरी हिचे संबंदांत आसले. 3 प्रस्तावासून 2 प्रस्ताव लॉकडावन चालू आसतना क्लियरन्स दिले. आतां जाणारांक आनी एक्सपर्ट्साक डॉक्युमेंट्साचे गरज आसता. तर कसले डॉक्युमेंट ताका म्हणटा इन्वायरमेंट इम्पॅक्ट असेसमेंट डॉक्युमेंट्स. तो दाखयनासतना आमचे गोंयचे राज्य सरकार ही 2 प्रस्ताव केंद्र सरकार मुखार मांडले. आतां ही 3 प्रस्ताव आमकां दूधसागर निर्माण करता. त्याच रानांतले आतां 28,000 झाड कातरपाचे प्लॅन आसा. एका म्हणटा आनी प्लॅन ना आतां ताका क्लियरन्स मेळना. एका म्हणटा ड्यू प्रोसेस ड्यू डिलिजन्स लॉकडावन मदीं अशें जाता. चीत गोंयकारां चीत.
In summary, some of the main problems these projects will cause are forest fragmentation, increase in man-animal conflict, reduction of nesting sites, increase in roadkill, and loss of biodiversity. It will also affect our water tables, air purity, and ecotourism industry.
I've been going to this forest for the last 10 years and I've documented a lot of wildlife which exists here. Much of the knowledge about Goa's forests that I've acquired from these forests. One of the places where the power transmission line passes through is along the stream in Tamdisulla. This is one of the perennial stream that is there in the sanctuary and is one of the most biodiverse area part of the sanctuary. The stream is an excellent place for watching birds as well as other wildlife. During the dry season, you see a lot of butterflies which are puddling on the edge of the river as well as animal droppings in the stream. Some rare birds like the Malayan night heron are also found in this area. One year when I was walking along the stream in search of butterflies, I came across some basically a sambar carcass which was killed by wild dogs. The sanctuary has a very good population of Indian giant flying squirrels. One night on a night walk in the outskirts of the sanctuary, I spotted a flying squirrel which was climbing on top of a fig tree. It went to the top of the tree and it glided across the river. It must have covered a distance of almost 50 meters and that is one of the spectacular sights that I've ever seen in the forest. Another very endemic species that can be seen in the forest is the Ceylon frogmoth, and the first time I ever saw a frogmoth nesting was in this sanctuary. The Mollem area is very good for mammal sightings. Animals like gaur and Malabar giant squirrel are pretty regular sightings in this area. The sanctuary is also well known for lesser fauna as well. The longest venomous snake in the world, the king cobra, also has its habitat in this sanctuary. The sanctuary is also well known for another reptile, the hump-nosed pit viper. This is a a snake which people from all over the country come to spot, as well as people from other parts of the world.